The heroes now not feel like heroes, but more like just super soldiers, and that's it. Like, even with them saying that they're taking Spider-Man to another multiverse level BS, it doesn't feel like your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man anymore. They just don't feel like heroes anymore. They just feel like super soldiers.
Okay, so not only are you not wrong, but it does lend to a segue that I want to go into, which is adaptational inefficiency. The reason that it feels that a lot of these mass-marketed superheroes right now are not actually superheroes and a lot more super soldiers is because we don't get a chance to see them be superheroes. Because 9 times out of 10 we're seeing them in a movie, and unfortunately movies are not a great way to adapt superheroes. They're a great vehicle to adapt certain storylines, but they're not a great vehicle to adapt superheroes as a medium. Because unfortunately, it's really hard to show a superhero being a superhero when you have maybe 2, maybe 3 hours to also show this big overarching story. And with a lot of storytelling trends right now, those big overarching stories involve multiversal threats, universal threats, things that are going to destroy the planet. The stakes and storylines are so high for characters because they need to keep topping themselves. If you're a studio head, why would you go, yeah, Spider-Man went from fighting Mysterio and like the Sinister Six from multi-fucking dimensions, and then in the next movie go, yeah, now he's gonna fight Kraven. What motivation would you have to do that? Basically none. Because the problem is superheroes in their base form in comic books are a never-ending medium. No matter how many stories get told, no matter how big the story is, you can't really end a character. Every time we have tried to do that, it just ends up giving them a more dramatic return. Comics are designed to have their main characters continuously battle without end forever, which makes it really easy to show off them being basic everyday heroes when they're protecting the everyday person, when you have those little asides where you can see them doing their day-to-day work. But movies have runtimes, movies have actors, movies have people who are going to age if you don't get this project out in a certain amount of time. It makes it really difficult to have those really street-level stories, have those really intimate moments with these characters, because they're not designed to do that in the medium that they are being portrayed in. And if I'm being personally honest, it's part of the reason that I think that long-form television, or even like mini-series television, is a lot better of a way of conveying superhero stories than fucking movies are. I see Daredevil and The Flash and Green Arrow as a lot more superhero coded than super cop coded, because I get to see them handle all different types of villains. Each villain doesn't need to top the next one because it's episodic. Sure, you can have a series-long antagonist, you can have villains who are way bigger than the rest of them that are orchestrating larger plots. That's how comic books work too. But you don't need to really rely on only telling that story to be able to get these characters' stories across. I don't know, personally I find it very fascinating, but I also think that you are absolutely correct. A lot of movie-based superheroes right now don't feel like superheroes. They feel like super cops. And that's only in the minor sense, because if you get into the major sense, you're absolutely right that they feel like super soldiers, taking down massive multiversal threats, things that normal human beings and normal superheroes wouldn't even touch. And it's something that I feel can be adjusted, but we really need to refocus on the fact that these are heroes. These are people who choose to put on this outfit to go out and fight crime every single day, no matter how big that crime is. Fighting crime does not mean taking down Thanos every single day. Sometimes it just means getting a cat out of a tree. Because their job isn't just fighting crime, it's being a hero. It's being a good person and being a helper. And I honestly think that there needs to be a major refocusing on these mass-marketed stories to really focus in on the fact that that's what these people are. Superheroes are not the one great man that can solve all the rest of the problems that the rest of the world cannot. Superheroes are good people wanting to help other people in an extremely selfless way. And I think that that is a lot more of what needs to be portrayed, aside from another massive multiversal threat that we need to fight. The question of why is Krypton the way that it is now is surprisingly complicated. Mostly because narratively, DC never really focuses on why Krypton is this way. The main point of Krypton in most Superman stories is simply to say it was destroyed and Superman is the last survivor of an alien planet. And that's about it. Getting into your question of why is Krypton portrayed as a militaristic society today, when in most depictions when we were growing up, it was more like a scientific utopia, is honestly because every single time Superman gets updated, so does Krypton. Krypton is used as your usual failed society, and as a failed society, the reason it fails is usually dependent on the time that it's being written. So like in the Golden Age, the destruction of Krypton wasn't really important. The fact that Krypton was gone was the part that was important. We didn't really start to get into the origins of it till about the Silver Age. And around the Silver Age, that's when we started worrying about weapons, specifically nuclear weapons. So the thing that destroyed Krypton was like a war that ended up blowing it up, or like destabilizing its core from the types of weapons that were being used. That is a very reoccurring thing. Something makes the core unstable that ends up destroying the planet. With very few notable exceptions. Sometimes like the sun goes nova, or like a meteor hits it or something. But most of the time, something causes the core to become unstable. And the thing that causes the core to become unstable is usually the like social climate of Krypton. Like something happens on Krypton for this to happen. And storytelling wise, that's usually used as a way to kind of give some social commentary. Is it the 60s and the Cold War is happening right now? We're terrified about the possibility of rogue agents using weapons of mass destruction? Awesome. Krypton was destroyed by a splinter cell that used a big weapon that ultimately ended up making the core unstable and turning it to kryptonite that eventually made the planet explode. Is it the early 2000s and we're terrified about the ramifications of how we've been destroying our planet for decades at this point? Awesome. The reason that Krypton's core was unstable was because of the mining operations that ended up using it for energy, making the core unstable and ultimately destroying it. Is it the late 2000s and we've realized that our history of colonialism and war has ultimately destroyed our planet and made it so that all of the societies on our planet are constantly going to be at odds with each other? Awesome. The reason that Krypton was destroyed is because there was a militaristic coup. Krypton usually gets destroyed by the core becoming unstable by the social pressures of the day, which I know is not an answer to your question, but it kind of is. Because if I was being 100% literal, the answer to your question is the New 52 and Zack Snyder. It's usually the answer for why something in Superman lore is now dark when it used to not be dark. Those were the two things that really did it. But outside of that, the reason that Krypton is the way it is because our views on what destroys society have changed over time. Krypton being a literal doomed society, it will end, it will be destroyed. Everyone in that society will die, opens up a lot of storytelling opportunities for us to discuss what leads to a society ultimately dying. There are a few things about Krypton that absolutely will never change. One of those being that the planet is and always has been a scientific utopia. 9 out of 10 times, if you see Krypton in a book, it is beautiful. It is gorgeous. Everybody lives an absolutely perfect life, and it's because of the scientific advancements that are so far ahead of our own. The question then comes after that, if they were so great, if they were so far advanced from us, if they were so much more powerful than us, what happened? And that answer is usually where you end up getting into, well, the Kryptonians were colonizers and fascists that ultimately took over societies and ended up completely eradicating them to take them into themselves. Or they were absolutely unconcerned with the ramifications of their endless pursuit of knowledge on the fate of their planet, ultimately leading it to become unstable and destroying them all. Because another one of the key tenets of Kryptonians is that they were very arrogant. Jor-El is never believed. There is only a very scant few people that think that this raving madman is correct when he says that this planet is going to be destroyed. And when you build Kryptonian society to be social commentary, you have to ask, why did nobody believe him? Is it because of the same reasons that people don't think that climate change exists today, regardless of the boundless scientific evidence that we have? Is it because the planet being destroyed was such a minimal risk in terms of everything else that was going on, like a massive war? Is it because there was a plague sweeping the entire planet and everybody thought there's no possible way that this plague is going to literally blow up the planet, so he sounded crazy? Kryptonian society evolving to kind of be what we fear ourselves becoming is a very major part of what Krypton represents. Which is saying a lot, considering the fact that 9 times out of 10, Krypton is usually just used as kind of a jumping off point for why Superman is. I think you stumbled on a very fascinating question that not a lot of people talk about, and I'm really happy that I got the chance to really deep dive into this. The universe can be fucking mean sometimes. Let me just run down the sequence of events that have gone down in the last couple of days, right? So Thursday night, Scarlett and I decide that it would be mutually beneficial to both of us if I did not continue at my parks job. There's a whole bunch of housekeeping stuff that we need to get on top of. I'm interviewing for a whole bunch of new jobs because that parks job would have ended in a month anyway. It's mutually beneficial for everybody if I just didn't keep going in. We agreed that I was going to finish out the week. Starting today, I was going to just hit the ground running and start back up full-time Panda again for at least a little while. Okay, we got that? Good. Friday, Scarlett seems a little bit off. Saturday, Scarlett is full-blown sick. That's my last day of work. I come home, I bring food, I make sure that she's in bed, I lay down with her, and then it's the middle of the night. It turns out that we are both horrendously sick. Sunday, she starts getting better. I don't. Today, she's almost perfectly fine. I absolutely am not. I go into the doctor, they test me for bronchitis, they test me for the flu, they test me for COVID. It's none of that shit. I'm just sick as a dog, can barely fucking breathe, and I'm apparently just sick. So, I'm on antibiotics now. I should have it cleared up in like a week. But anyway, TLDR of all of this, hi, I'm back to being Panda full-time now. I have a couple of collaborations that are like right around the corner that I can't wait to show you guys. I'm going to be jumping on all of my content creation to try and get everything under wraps. I think that this is going to be great. This also operates as a way to explain where I have been for like the past 4 months, because apparently I can't juggle a blue-collar job and full-time content creation and being sick as a dog. Who knew this content creator shit was a full-time job, right? Should have seen that coming. Big hearty thank you to Scarlett as well for allowing this to be something that I can even do, because she's great. She's able to shoulder all of this while I am getting better and managing Panda stuff and doing the house stuff. So she's amazing. I love that woman so much. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy what comes next, and I will see y'all in the next one.
Hey, Editing Panda here. I just wanted to pause the video for a second to do something real quick. So actually, just drop the background out a little bit. This next video is kind of important, so I wanted to give it its just desserts. Technically, it was posted on September 1st, meaning I would usually put it first in the rotation, but I think this one kind of deserves its own little spot at the end. I just want to say this person is the most important person in my entire life. There are no words to express how excited I was for this day. And I hope you guys enjoy the video.
It is June 29th, and she doesn't know it yet. But this is our wedding ring. She is back in our bedroom sleeping in, and she doesn't know that by the end of next month, we're gonna be engaged.
Yeah, and the next month was a little bit generous. Current proposal date is set for September 1st. That is what I scheduled with the photographer, which he also doesn't know is going to be there. Ironically enough, we got home from Colossal Con like 2 days ago, and we are both so fucking peopled out that I didn't think it was going to be this hard to convince her to go out with like me and her friends to go to like a photo shoot. But yeah, we don't really want to see anybody right now, so I had to get her best friend to suggest us going to like a sunflower field so that we could have like a really cool like background for the photos of the engagement, but also we don't want to talk to anybody, so that was hard. Right now it's August 21st, and I am suddenly realizing I don't know any etiquette, like at all. I learned from Scarlett after already buying the ring that there's a difference between an engagement ring and a wedding ring, and that is, I didn't know that, and now I do know that. Apparently there's a correct knee that you need to go on. I just want this pretty person in my life for the rest of my life. Why is this gotta be so hard? Fingers crossed we can pull off the whole secret photographer thing, and also fingers crossed that the weather fucking improves, because I would rather not have to propose in the rain at a sunflower field. I don't care, we're getting engaged September 1st either way, so. God, this is stressful.
It is the day before.
The photographer is ready. All of her friends are ready. Both of the sets of parents know. And it is only now setting into me that this is not assured. Like, we literally live together. We spend all of our time together. We're each other's best friends. So, like, it's all but assured, but still it's not. Nothing is ever 100%. Now the plan is that we are going to go to a sunflower field. The photographer is going to be waiting there for us. They're going to meet us at like a tractor or like a notable landmark. And then we are going to be essentially followed until we get to a spot that we think is good. I'm not at the panic stage yet. It'll come. It'll come. Sleeping is going to be hard. I went and I got my hair done, and I had her friends like sneakily wean her into getting her nails done and like making sure her face is good, not like picking too much. And it is just a lot of work has gone into making sure that we are picture worthy without making anybody aware that we are picture worthy. Here's hoping all goes well. It's the morning of. She is still asleep. The panic is setting in.
Okay, ready?
Oh, prom.
One.
But you're holding my hand. You're moving me.
Okay, I got quite a few in there.
It is.
You can't possibly. Oh my god!
Special surprise!
Oh my god, you guys are the worst.
That is going to be it for this month. I just want to say thank you to all of my lovely, lovely patient patrons over on Patreon.
Amanda Barnstead, Andrea Lanowitz, Anthea Yu, B. Seat, Bill Bro, Brandon Bilbrey, Carol Cowett, Christopher Boscard, Definitely Not 5 Gene Stealers in a Trench Coat, Dragon Fang, Eddie XIII, Gamer X, Jacob Safel, Jeffrey of Isles, Joe Stewart, Cat Q, Midnight Ace Evergreen, Miles Patrick, Mr. Nobody 13, Oplin, Schmopclop, Shadow Spike, Simply Smithy Jr., Silver Bullets 23, Slither in Deception, Tangled Web, The Brain Teaser, Thomas Randolph, Toon Reaper, and T.S. Pamder, as well as all of my other lovely, lovely patrons over on Patreon.
And if you too want your name read out in the credits of every one of the videos that I do over here on YouTube, then head on over to Patreon and subscribe for $15 or more. Or, if you just want to be generous, even $1 helps.
Good lord, I was apparently anemic when it came to content this month, huh? Oh my lord, I didn't know that I only really recorded like 5, maybe 6 original videos in the entire month of September, but I can guarantee you that October is going to be different. It's only October 2nd. I'm already halfway to the number of videos I made in September. Good God. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm sorry that I got a little bit serious at the end there, but you know, getting engaged will do that to someone, so sorry about that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys are having an amazing day, and I will see y'all in the next one.